I did my paper on gender stereotyping. I asked the question if babies are born with a set principle of strictly girl or strictly boy, or if they learn these preferences from parents, siblings, and teachers at an early age. Gender stereotyping can be defined as a set of ideals found in men and women's social characteristics. For example, boys are supposed to like the color blue, to play outside with trucks, and like to get dirty. Girls, on the other hand, are supposed to like the color pink, dress in frilly dresses, and play with dolls. This would be an example of a boy toy aisle in Walmart or Toys R Us, and then a girl toy aisle, which is usually filled with pink and dolls. The goal of many of my research studies I found was to determine whether or not gender stereotyping is a natural habit or if the baby is born with it. For most people, children's toys are known as either a boy toy or a girl toy, not usually gender neutral. For example, toys and Happy Meals at McDonald's are either for a girl or for a boy. The worker usually asks if the meal is for a girl or boy when ordering to determine which toy they get. Barbies is known as girl toys and trucks are known as boy toys. One study I found showed that parents with both sexes of children were more likely to rate toys gender neutral than specific for one or the other. Parents with children of only one sex were more likely to rate the toys specifically as girl or boy. Toys found most appropriate for girls included domestic tasks such as vacuuming, dusting, dolls, makeup, and dress-up kits. Trucks, action figures, and construction sets were found most appropriate for boys. Ellen Reifler in Time Warp and the Toy Story believes this stereotyping begins at birth, and when girls are handled, they are cuddled more so than boys, and boys are usually roughhoused and bounced as they grow up. She believes this stereotyping comes into play due to the fact of parents being homophobic and fearing the social stigma placed on their children, and they're basically afraid their kids will be gay or lesbian. Another study I did found that older children were more likely to answer gender norm violations. Girls were more open to girls playing football and dressing in boy clothing, and boys wearing girls' clothing and playing with Barbie dolls was viewed negatively between all groups. Girls playing rough and being noisy were viewed negatively compared to boys in this activity. Another study I looked at showed color preference in children. They tried to explain how past and some current research have attempted to explain how boys and girls develop a gender preference in infancy that carries over and then making the children grow to accept these gender norms. They wanted to see if infant girls were attracted to the color pink and if infant boys were attracted to the color blue. Each child in the study were given two identical objects, with one of those objects always being pink. The results of this experiment showed no significant difference for color preference for pink in infants, but beginning at about age 2, children started to show a color preference. By the end of the study, they determined that about 2.5 years old, girls will choose the color pink and boys will defer to any color but pink. Overall, answering the question as to whether or not children learn gender norms from their parents is a very difficult question. Many experiments and research has been conducted to help answer this question, but no study has been able to fully answer it. It is possible that children are born with maybe a small amount of built-in gender norms, but with gender stereotyping beginning before a child is even born, it can also be a learned activity. The best answer to this question would be that some children are born with some ideals, but these ideals are further learned and grown by teaching and the observation with their parents.